Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Always a pleasure to see our next guest join us, and especially when he has a new body of work, because it's just fun to talk about.
Absolutely. We're just bonding over the fact that we were never popular in high school, so.
Oh, wow. Well, let's get it all out in the open.
My Vietnam years back in high school, Calgary 1980 with the last name Ferrie. It was just like,
How'd that work out for you,
not
Don?
even a minute of fun. Not even a minute. Invited to the high school reunion. I'm like, how did you get my name? Just put deceased beside my name.
Now, it's always an exciting time to catch up with you when you have a new show on and a new
this is so
collection.
great to
Tell
be
us
here.
about the new collection. We've got
14 is the name of the show, and it was kind of an exciting period of my life. A number of years ago, I was, through a strange chain of events, I was on the Vicki Gabourou show for a week, and I cornered Vicki Gabourou at a fundraiser that I was actually waitering at with a tray of crab puffs and went, "Put me on your show." And she's like, "Who are you? And can security please come?" And I said, "Well, I'm John Ferrie, and I'm the hottest artist in Canada." And she's like, "All right, call my producer." Funnily enough, you guys, that's how I met you two as well.
I know, it actually
exactly.
works.
It actually works. This is how you get on TV. So get crab puffs and fake it. So the next thing you know, I'm on Vicki Gabourou, painting to the nation for a week, and I'm getting a phone call every day from some guy going, "I'm here from Hong Kong. Will you come paint in Hong Kong?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Really?
sure I
Wow,
will." Thinking
that's creepy.
I'm going to be sold into slavery or something. And the next thing you know, I was in Hong Kong. So
And what were you doing?
I was painting at what was called the West Island School, which is in an area called Pak Fu Lam, and it was overlooking. I had a beautiful studio overlooking the South China Sea, and it was
Really?
this most inspiring thing. And I was living in Wan Chai, which is the essence of Hong Kong, with just the double-decker buses and all these amazing things. And I quickly discovered that Hong Kong was a city of extremes. It was just from the most unbelievable opulence to the slums of Calcutta. I mean, it was just, and every time you turned a corner would be something different. But when I was there, I discovered this exquisite little store called King and Country, and it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these little figurines.
I love that little flash of colonialism.
Exactly.
King
It was
and country.
King and Country, and there I was in Hong Kong. And I bought, what I did was I was sort of drawn to this, and there was battles and all these different types of figurines from every era and African tribes and all these things. But the ones I was most drawn to were these ones called the Chinese Imperial set, and it was an opera set. And I kind of thought these were kind of cool. And there were 14 of them in the collection, and I bought all 14 of them. That's why the show is called 14. So I'm in my new studio this last winter, watching the 4 feet of snow on the ground, going, what am I going to paint for my new show in the spring? And knowing that the economy has tanked, no one has money for artwork or anything like that, and knowing I've got to bring people back to my work. So you may have noticed that this new collection is quite a bit smaller.
Smaller canvases.
It's way smaller canvases, and the quality of the work is dialed up as well. There's a lot more detail to it as well.
So you took these 14 little fellas and
I kind of lined them up in my studio, and I went, okay, well, let's start painting those. And of course, you do that because there's nothing else.
And the results are breathtaking.
Well, yeah, exactly.
well, let's look at some of them. You can tell us about your little toy soldiers.
Does it surprise you sometimes? I mean, I guess you have an idea of what you want when you go in, somewhat. But
not a clue.
Not a clue?
Not a clue. No,
But you always know with you can guarantee there's going to be bright color.
There's no question. The color is the vocabulary with my work, and that's a very important thing.
Tell us about this one.
Well, she was one of the figurines that's in the collection, and she was just sort of one of the first ones. But my work has been very nature-driven for a number of years, and I found that there was the floral patterning on the fabrics and just the look on her face. And because they're opera singers, the makeup is a little bit more dramatic. And there's the headdresses and the detail and all those kind of things. So that's important to me about what I'm trying to communicate in my work and that kind of thing. And then there was new elaborate patterning in the background and sort of multi-layering that I sort of went, let's do that for a while. And you just keep painting and painting and painting, and all of a sudden a few more pieces start to come.
And you have a collection.
And
the next thing you got a collection, and then you book the time in the gallery, and you just do it.
Well, let's look at another one if we could. Tell us about, this is your favorite?
This is my favorite piece in the whole collection, and this is one of the larger paintings. It's 3 feet by 3 feet square, which is quite dramatic and quite a big piece.
I like him, it's very strong.
Well, he's called the Imperial Swordsman, and it's a sword practice thing. So I get the feeling that this opera was all about a battle and a love and these royal figures and emperors and empresses.
And I love the way you've done, your signature thing, and there's the flowers in the background, but it's really, it just adds to it. It's just amazing.
I hope so. I mean, I hope that people look at it and go, well, if anybody's followed my work over the years, will go, well, there's John Ferrie's work, and there's, and this is the next natural progression, because nothing is the beginning and nothing is the end. It's just part of this incredible journey that we're all on, and I just keep painting, and, hopefully people will come to it and respond to my work. And, sometimes you do a series and people go, not so much, and other people go, wow, there's a whole new work.
Well, and that's the beauty is that idea of a life's work, that idea of a flow through it all, and think, as long as you're striving.
Well, I'm only 47 years old, so I hope that the bulk of my work is still ahead of me in my life, but I also look back and go, there's acres of canvas that I've painted, but still there's so much more to do, and this is what has come to define me at this point in my life, is being an artist. And I do think it's, one of those things where you just look at the economy and go, oh, well, nobody's going any artwork, and yet I went to the Tico Kerr show the other day, and I saw just a field of red dots and went, someone's buying something out there.
That's right.
But you do something very nice at your shows, and we've got one of them here. You compile the collection into a book, which is something that is accessible to anybody.
Well, that's just it. I mean, with the book, you get a book and a print. It's a limited edition thing, and that's kind of a nice thing, because people sort of go, I can't afford your work. I'm like, oh, yes, you can.
Yes,
well,
you can.
And if you buy a print too, it really gives some context to what it is as part of a body of work.
The print is sort of, the invitation piece, and that's kind of important to me as well, and that sort of speaks about what the whole collection is going to be about. But, people want a book, and there's a little bit of writing in there about, my...
You and your work,
me and my work,
stuff.
and serving crab puffs at functions.
Do you still talk? Do you ever bump into Vicki Gabbro?
I do, and she's a doll.
She absolutely is.
She lights up a room, and she's a very, very interesting woman, and certainly somebody that, when I think of the influential people I've met in my life, she would be one person that changed the trajectory of who I am. Gave me the cachet as an artist, going, wow, Vicki Gabbro. I mean, that's a serious, you don't just get on that show because you're some schlock with a tray of cat puffs.
Well, and as per usual, we were just cleaning up after Vicki.
Yeah.
And that's how we found most of our guests.
Okay, but we have to thank you, John, because you've donated a wonderful piece of work to our auction, which we are having right here on Shaw TV on June the 7th. I hope I have that date right, but it's going to be a live auction where you can buy great things, and the money goes straight to Olympic athletes, right through Can Fund, and this is going to be one of the amazing things that you can bid on.
And that is just a breathtaking
Well, of course, I had to give to you guys, because, I mean, I get phone calls, probably 3 a week, from people going, will you save the wildebeests of North Vancouver or something like that, or from old high schools that I don't want to talk about that ask me for...
It's okay, I don't want to talk about them either.
But, you say no a lot, but they seem to call the artist, that's for sure. And but when I got the phone from you guys, it was like, and for the Olympics, I mean, I'm so excited about it. It's coming. It's rah rah sis boom bah. What Vancouver's going to be like when it's done, it'll be another story.
But people are going to have some good art.
We're going to have good art, and we'll be able to take the train to the airport. So.
Well, thank you, John. Well said.
John Ferrie sums up the Olympics.
Train to the airport.
Train to the airport.
If you want to go see 14, we would highly recommend seeing John's work in person. You can check it out April 17th through the 30th. It's going to be at the Main Space Gallery. That's on East 2nd if you want to check it out. And of course, you can also go to John's website to find out everything you need to know, johnferrie.com. Thank you so much.
John, thank you. A real pleasure. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're moving into the world of fashion, but still, of course, keeping one foot in art as well. Dace is going to be here to show us some of their new collection. We'll be right back.
Awesome. Oh,
and your shoes look great.
Oh, thank you so much.